to take a second to talk about a battery pack that I built, which is a water-resistant battery pack that I could take camping. I have, kind of a side note, I have what's called a Julka shower system, which is a off-grid kind of propane water heater system. Julka is a company out of Australia. They make just a really awesome camp shower kit. It's kind of all put together in a really nice travel bin that turns into a sink. You know, use it for a sink, use it for a shower. It is awesome. I gotta thank my wife. She actually hooked it up for Christmas this year with the Julka. So thank you, Jessica. That being said, I have one gripe with the system, and that is the way that the water pump is powered. So it uses a 12 volt input from, and it's like a cigarette lighter input plug that is, it's less, you know, it's not really ideal when you're not around a vehicle. And most of the battery systems that I use, they just don't have a cigarette lighter plug. I just don't think that those are very solid plugs. They don't make a good connection. If you bump it, it might come out. So what I came up with was I wanted something that was water resistant, something that I could leave out in the weather. I could actually leave it down by the lake the entire camp trip. So it needed to have enough juice to keep the shower pumping for anybody to take a shower and not feel like we were gonna run low, or if it was gonna rain, I needed to worry about anything. So this is what I came up with. I did post this in the Julka Facebook group, and I'm seeing a ton of people are really excited about this and asking a ton of questions. So I figured I would just shoot a quick video talking about it. But essentially, the kind of heart of the build is these three kind of battery plugs that you can take the kind of standard red lithium from Milwaukee battery. I've got, you know, a good number of these that I use for my tools, and you can just go ahead and click it in, so it's locked in there. So I figured, why not use some of these? I also wanted this to be scalable for the size, you know, like what size camp trip or what I was going to be doing. So I've got 3 bays. I can either use one battery, 2, or all 3, and regardless, since it is wired in parallel, it will just work. So you're probably wondering where to get these. These I 3D printed. I found a guy on Thingiverse that actually designed these. You know, I think that sometimes, you know, don't need to reinvent the wheel. So since I'm not selling these, I figured why not just 3D print them. And I want to give that guy credit. So down below his Thingiverse account, if you have a 3D printer, you can print these out yourself. And the plugs in here are just the little crimp-on spade connectors that you can get from Harbor Freight or, you know, any standard electronics store. So that being said, not everybody has access to a 3D printer, and so what you can do is there is a ton of guys on Amazon that make these that are actually injection molded, so it's not 3D printed, which means it's going to be a lot more rigid. So what I'll do is I will link one of the ones down below that I think is just a solid one that's mountable like this. And if you want to pick those up, I think they're cheap. They're like $10, maybe $12, somewhere around there at the time of filming this, which is, what is this, May 2022? So, yep. That being said, let's talk about how this works. So we've got 3 batteries. They can plug in, and they just slide, they click in. I'm not going to go through and add the 3rd one just because I want you to be able to see what's happening. But power comes up, and this is all 18 volts, so it's all running at 18. And then right here, this is what helps us out. This is called a buck converter, or a DC to DC step-down converter. And this takes the 18 volts and turns it into 12 volts. I think it's like 12.6 volts to be exact. It's good for up to 20 amps max, so you can actually put a decent amount of power out here, and it doesn't get warm. It's got some good fins, and honestly, it's just not a whole lot of energy needing to, be output for the heater or for the pump. Coming over here, we've got on-off switch, and then the power output. Now this is I used all water-resistant components. So if you take a look here, the on-off is actually here, water-resistant, good for rain, and then the output plug is here as well. And then what I did to make everything work is I just took the plug that ships with the Julka, here it is, and I snipped the cigarette lighter off. And these plugs right here, pretty cool because they ship with both the male and the female plug, so you'll get this when you order a set of plugs. So on the inside of this, all I did is went ahead and soldered it on, and then just put the pieces back together. It's pretty easy. And these Packout cases are pretty cool. If you guys don't know about these, they're great because you can stack a bunch of them together. And they make all different sizes. They got skinny ones, they got big ones, got big boxes, and they just all kind of click together, which I think is just so cool. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but on the underside, there is a bulb seal that goes all the way around. And then these pretty hefty latches, which I think are just super solid. So, yeah. And then my game plan is I'm going to go ahead and put some silicone, maybe some Sikaflex over these pins. I use small flat pan screws so that there wasn't anything interfering if I wanted to stack this onto another Packout. I've tested that. It works. In fact, I will show you it works because I know somebody's going to say something. But there's one. It works. Okay. So I'm just going to add some Sikaflex, kind of make that waterproof. But regardless, just those screw holes is what I'm talking about. But regardless, my game plan is to just have it sit like this. Those screws are sitting off the ground. They're on the bottom side. Water is not going to go up the screw hole. So I think we're fine. And then once those screws on the bottom are kind of sealed up, I could hang this from a tree. I could put it down by the water. I mean, whatever. So yeah, that is the solution to the Julka pump. In fact, let me show you what it looks like kind of put together. So this is the water pump for the Julka shower. There's enough space in here to store the wiring, so you can take that out, close things up. And then I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down to kind of help me out with this. But you just take the waterproof connector, go ahead and plug that in. Nice solid fit. And then from here, we're just going to take the barrel connector, plug that in, and you can click the on switch, and then there's a switch on here. So yeah, there you go. Getting juice. Obviously, I don't want to keep this on because it's not plugged into anything. But also, when you're all done, unplug, cap, turn your power off, and then you can just grab your wiring, bunch it up, toss it in the box, and you're good to go. So again, thank you for checking out this video. For those of you that asked, down in the description there is links to all the parts that I used. I'll have links to an equivalent battery plug that you can use on Amazon. And then if you have a 3D printer, use the Thingiverse link that I have down below. Grab that STL file, you can download it. And if you do that, I have links to some of the little spade connectors that you'll need to use on the inside. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I'll link it all below. If you got any questions, reach out on Instagram. That's probably easiest for me. Or comment down below. Thanks for checking it out. See you guys.